everyone, and welcome to Unglamorous in the City with Smith Rao. I am beyond excited to introduce you to one of my dear friends, Kelly Logan.
Hello.
And Kelly is, let's give you your fancy title here, which I love. You are head of biz development, account management, and you're part of a family biz.
I am.
I love it. Well, welcome, Kelly. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Smitha. I'm so excited.
Me too. Well, fun fact. So the reason I started the podcast, a big part of it, was because of Kelly. Kelly and I had met, and I think one of the first things we said to each other was, I want to do a podcast. And you're like, so do I.
Yeah, right.
And here we are doing a podcast. So I'm very excited for you to be on the show.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Of course. So let's just start off. I want to know everything about Kelly. Tell those that are listening and watching a little bit more about you, who you are, what do you do, all the fun stuff.
All right. Where do I start? Well, who is Kelly Logan is really the question. No, I'm from Buffalo. It's like one of the things that I'm most known for. It comes out right away in my accent. I moved to New York City almost 9 years ago, which is crazy to think about. And I love New York. I love it. And I always wanted to move here. The first time my dad brought me here was actually 1999. We're filming this the day that the Knicks are in the championship. It's like their third game. And the last time they were in the finals was 1999. And that was the first time I ever came here. And so I've been enjoying like all the photos on Instagram that are like the reels and everything, like the photos of 1999, like what the city looked like in 1999. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like that was when I first came here. And I like, you just don't even think about it. You think it's never, it hasn't changed at all. But so I came here. My dad took me to like 30 Rock. And I was always like a huge fan of TV and like comedy and SNL. And so we went to 30 Rock. My dad rented us like a limo. And I was wearing this like top to bottom red outfit from like the Gap. And we get to 30 Rock, the limo opens, and all these tourists were like flashing pictures at me, or like to see who was going to get out of not at me, but to see who was going to get out. And the second they saw that a 13-year-old in an all red getup was stepping out of the limo, they immediately like stopped flashing their cameras and turned around. So, but I mean, I'll never forget that moment. It was hysterical. But I felt like I was destined to be like there doing that at that time. So then we went up into 30 Rock, and they had these like TV, like I don't like fun little things that you could do where you could pretend to be Al Roker on The Weather, and then you could like be with Jay Leno and be like a guest on The Tonight Show, or just different things. So I started doing those, and like it was my first time like really being like on camera, and my father was like glowing with pride. It was so cute. Like the videos are probably so awkward. They're out there somewhere on like VHS tapes, but it was a like an exciting moment that I like immediately just wanted to be here. Like I wanted to be in the action. And then, I moved here when I was 23. I went to FIT. I lived in Buffalo, and went to college in Erie, Pennsylvania otherwise. And it was like 2008 when I graduated. So it was like not easy to get jobs anywhere. So I ended up like getting into retail. I was working at a boutique in Buffalo, and I was the first employee, and I fell in love with that. But it was like a great family to work with. She had 5 kids around my age. She was so wonderful too. And like I got to go on buying trips with her, and I got to like do all this great stuff. We had events with celebrities at the boutique, and so it was just like super fun. My sister worked there, and so that's how I ended up getting into fashion. So then I was like, I got to get to New York. So it was like a couple years in, I'm like, okay, well, the jobs aren't like hiring me. I'm just not getting anywhere with this. So I was like, I'll go to FIT for a semester and learn more about fashion. So I came here for 6 months, and I had like straight A's, and just, I hated not having money. Like I hated not like I was 23, I think at the time. So like my friends that lived here didn't have a ton of money, but they had enough money to like go out and do things. And I also hated being back at school, even though I was doing really well. I hated spending my time not earning money. Like I was spending money and I wasn't making it. So I ended up like going back. I was like, I shouldn't just like continue on here. I'm not getting anywhere with this. So I went back to Buffalo, and then I started working as a manager at Anthropologie, and proceeded to, for years, like I was managing at least 40 people at a time at Anthro. Amazing. And Am I rambling with this story? It's like...
No, I love this story. So first of all, I love this because a lot of times in TV, you have to pull things out of people, right? No, this is great. This is exactly why we were going to do the podcast.
Okay.
No, please go ahead. And I love this because I know a lot of this, but there's some things I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't know that. That's great. So yeah, so anthropology, managed 40 people, and that's a pretty big ass job being so young.
It was, and it like the amount of pressure that these people put it was like being in prison. Like I had such like strict hours, and like the managers at the time, now like one of them owns like a bunch of restaurants in Buffalo and works with all these celebrities, like works with Josh Allen and Haley Steinfeld to host all their events. She's killing it. And like we ended up like at first we hated each other. Like I also didn't like her being so like strict, and like I was just like the fun like puppy dog coming in, and I just always wanted to like have fun, and she was like discipline. But we ended up liking each other over the years, and she ended like I'm so grateful for those years at Anthropology where it was a big job, and all of those people went on, even though like they were just part-time associates in college. I like would encourage them to like chase their dreams. Like the thing I loved most about that job was coaching people. I was not a disciplinarian. Like I was a terrible manager when it came to like having like policies and procedures and like having like, you know, corporate talks with people. Like I hate that. I don't care about like someone coming in and stealing things. I'm not going to go up to them and tell them not to do that. Like I hated dealing with any of that stuff.
Right. But leave that for somebody else.
Right. And there were like my counterpart actually loved doing that stuff. So it worked out. But I loved like coaching people and like seeing what they were good at and encouraging them. And a lot of those girls and guys went on to have like crazy great jobs. Like one of them is a producer at the Drew Barrymore show right now. One of them I worked with a few years ago to do like a huge furniture job for a big tech company that I don't know if I'm allowed to mention, but
we'll let people guess. We'll keep it mysterious.
So she was the designer on the project at the design firm here in New York, and we kept in touch. I try to keep in touch with like all my associates and stuff, and I saw that she was working in it's a niche industry. I sell office furniture now, and it's just, it's niche. But so anyway, we got back together. I took her out for a few dinners. We reconnected, and this was like during COVID, and we ended up doing this project together. She like got me put me on the order. So anyway, so that was Anthro. And so the goal was always to like be in television or like do something like that. But I kind of, I got stuck in retail and like for a while because of just, what the story I just mentioned. But so then one day my dad was like an amazing salesman, and I knew that I was really good at sales from being in retail. Like they'd always put me as the MOD, the manager on, I don't remember what it's
manager on duty, manager on demand, duty.
I was really
go either way.
We'll go either way.
We'll go with either one.
And so that's like the manager that is constantly circulating the floor, talking to people and making sure that I'm delegating to everyone, and just like that, so like selling and then delegating. So they put me on that all the time. So I knew I was really good at sales, and so my goal was like, I want to be a successful saleswoman in New York City. And my therapist actually at the time was like, Kelly, I was living with my mom at the time. I was like about to be 28 years old, which is kind of insane. Like that's a long time to be living with your parents. Like,
it is, but it's also common, I feel like.
Right. Well, nowadays I think it's more common, and I'm super grateful for the time. At the time, I felt like a little insecure about it, but I couldn't care less now. Like that, I'm grateful I had that time with my parents, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. But you're right. You do feel like a little bit like a loser.
Right.
I lived at home when I was 23, and I wasn't old. I was still very young, and I worked at TV. I worked at a local TV station, but I still felt a little bit like I live at home. But it's not a big deal. But I can understand the sentiment for sure.
Right. Right. And like I don't know about you, but like I wasn't going out getting wasted or like meeting guys in my 20s. Like I was like out like with my mom going on walks for ice cream, or like going to dinner with my dad. Like I was I didn't have those wild 20 years, which like I feel like is why we look so young. Like that's
I'll take that. I'll take that. And I'll say, yeah, I mean, definitely in my 20s, I was just very career driven. I wanted, I was working in TV. I wanted to go higher and higher in the market. So I definitely get that. And yeah, spending time with family, right? That was the nice thing about being at home, right? It was nice. I remember I would go out and my dad would come pick me up from the bar.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
And I think my parents wanted, they liked doing that. Oh, yeah. And I was like, I don't care. I was like, I love it. So it's nice. It's nice when you can spend that quality time with them, after college.
Right. And you never know. Like, I remember this guy that I like was obsessed with told me one day, like, you're going to be really grateful for that time, like someday. And I was like, yeah, easy for you to say, like, you live in Chicago and you're like living your best life. But he was right. Like, I am super grateful that I had that time. So,
I love that.
And it makes you feel less guilty for, like, I don't live in Buffalo anymore. And I feel guilty sometimes, but I know that I like spent my first like 31 years around them constantly there. So it's like, I feel like I can be selfish now and like experience other things and whatnot. So
exactly. We're both from upstate, right? So Kelly and I are both from upstate. So I always knew I wanted to get out of upstate New York for long term. I like it. And it's a good place to have grown up.
Right.
But I always wanted to be in New York City.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, it's the best.
It's the best. It's the best. So Kelly and I go out a lot in the city, have a lot of fun in the city. And so it's nice to experience that, right? Because as much as I love upstate, it's not the same.
Right. Well, right. Yeah. No, you're not going to be meeting, like Smith and I go out by ourselves all the time, too, like separately, or them. That's how we met each other. Each of us was out like by ourselves at the Odeon a year ago. And so here we are now.
Yep.
But you can't really do that in like small towns. I feel like people will be like, oh, there she is. Like,
there she is alone again. Yeah. It'll be a little creep. There'll be a little creep. It's not the same vibe. I feel like here it's kind of like, oh, you're alone. That's so fascinating. Who are you? What do you do? Where do you live? It's like such a good conversation starter. Kelly complimented one of my bags. So that's how we actually
bag. Like, it was a great bag.
I do like my designer bags. Yeah, but that is one of the best parts about living in the city too, is that you just meet so many people and from all walks of life. I mean, I love that we had the bond, obviously, of being from upstate New York, but you meet so many different people here, and that is so in any big city, really, but especially in New York.
Especially here, and you don't like they could be here like for the night, they could be here for forever, or like you never know. Like it's so exciting. Like New York draws so many different people in from all over the place, so it's great. But I guess just to wrap this up quickly with the first question.
We have time, girl. We have time. We have time. This is exactly what the podcast is about. Is just chatting. There's no strict format.
Okay,
so you got time.
Okay, perfect. But yeah, so I ended up like quitting my job in retail, and I applied to like 1 million jobs in sales, and I ended up getting this. I got 4 offers in 1 week. It took me like 3 or 4 months. And I remember just when I was about to like give up, or like I was like so frustrated, I landed 4 offers in 1 week, and then also closed on an apartment to like move downtown Buffalo with my 2 best friends. Aww. I know, it was like so cute. And so it's kind of like what they just say, just keep going, and like you never know with like if you just one more like day, and like you never know, it all could like break for you. So and one of the jobs was this office supply company that I thought was like, I was like, I'm just going to take this job for like 6 months. But something about the interview and like when I went into the office was like a complete dump. It was just a lot of young people.
Sure.
And I liked the guy that would have been my boss, and I just got a good vibe. But the actual job was like going door to door selling office, like getting in and out of your car and like going door to door, floor to floor, selling like office supplies and office furniture. So with pamphlets and like discount like papers,
like little coupons.
yeah, it was coupons and flyers, like literally, and with like cartoons on them. so I took this job, and like lo and behold, it was the best thing I could have done for my not only my career, but just like it came at a time when I was leaving my mom's house and starting a sales career and moving downtown, and it was like I loved the job. I was doing super well with it. It was a ton of fun too. Like it was like such a young group of people, and young-minded, even if they're like the older like dads, we'll call them, that I was working with were like just super young at heart and young spirited. So it was just, everyone was just there to like like have a good time while working really hard at work. So I loved that. And then did that for 2.5 years. And with that, I was like, I just started feeling like I like had to get to New York. Like I like absolutely had to get here. And I was thinking about this the other day because I was like trying to remember why I ended up coming here. Yeah. And the last straw, it was like I was coming here twice a month, like for a while, for like a year.
Oh, from Buffalo.
Yeah.
So that's a commute. Yeah.
That was, like it was just for fun. Like I was paying it because I was making really good money and I just wanted like a new experience.
Yeah.
And so then it started to get like getting home started to feel like a little more bummed out. Like I didn't want to be back home. I wanted to stay in New York. Yep. And then I remember this guy, this like idiot that I was like had a situationship with at the time. It's fair to call him an idiot because I think he's like a self-proclaimed idiot, honestly.
So if he's listening or watching, you're welcome.
Yeah. But he told me that he was moving to Virginia or something, and he had literally I had known him for like years, and he had just moved back. Like when I had moved downtown, he had just moved back from Texas or something. And I remember being like, well, you can't move. Like I'm supposed to be the one moving, you know? Like this was why am I not doing this?
Right. This was my plan.
Yeah, this was my plan. And then I just like, do you ever feel like men just have such an easier time? I feel like it's a generalization, but I feel like men kind of just make decisions and like they don't dwell on it
in general much. Yes, but in TV I feel like you had to be able to be like, oh, I'll move to North Carolina. Right. But yes, in general 100%, but I always felt like I was more like a man because I would just be like, okay, I'll move, no problem. You want me to move to North Carolina? Wow. Sure.
Right.
Yeah, but you're right. We think more, I think in general, we think a lot about, okay, what does this look like? What does this mean for my day to day? How is my life actually going to change, right? And I do think that can be a characteristic more, with women than men.
I think of it as being more, you probably also know that it's just could be temporary, you know? And I think I'm like so used to like, just the way I was brought up too, like a little more like, oh my God, this is fair. The severity of something, like how is this affecting other people? Yep. And I think of it as a more like permanent thing that I think if you like, you have to have that mindset that like, oh, this could just be for now. Right. And then it's, right. It's just easier.
You're right. Because if you kind of think through it too much, then you get a little scared, right?
Well,
you're
that
like,
too, the fear. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you're like, is this actually a decision that I can take back easily or I can change, right? So you could go down a rabbit hole very fast. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, exactly. But so with that, I was just like gung ho. I was like, I have to do this. And I knew I loved the job and I happened to be working with the owner of the company one day. Like he would fly in, the owners would take turns flying into the different branches, and we're at a taco place for lunch that like during the middle of our like meetings that we had. And I just blurted out like, I want to, well, he did ask me where, he was like, do you want to become a manager? And I was like, I had no interest in doing that. Like after I'd already done that. And I was like, no, I want to move to New York City. And he was like, oh.
I was like, I wasn't expecting that, but okay, we can go with that. Yeah. But although I feel like a lot of people in upstate New York like want to go to New York City, right? Not everyone. Well, I take that back because we both have friends that
You're way closer too, like to the city. Like,
and that's true. I guess it depends, but I feel like a lot of people always like, and I went to Syracuse, as you know, a lot of people like New York was the end goal. Right. But I guess people from Syracuse are probably from the city too. So to be fair, right?
Right. I feel like none of my friends wanted to. It was more my sister and all of her friends all did their time or still are living here. Yeah. But for my friends, I don't know why. Like some of them moved to Chicago, I guess. But
that's I guess the equivalent of New York.
Right. Yeah. But now I lost my so then after I had said that to the owner, within like I was coming down here then like in a couple weeks, my biggest account happened to need office furniture. And like because they had an office in New York City. So I was like, let's book some showroom visits. So like come to New York City, ended up meeting my future boss then in New York City. And the owner made it happen. Like within a month I was like moving here. It was crazy.
Oh, I love that. See, I do think everything happens for a reason. So I feel like your path was supposed to take you here.
Definitely.
Right? Even if like, I love that. I love that story.
Yeah. No, it's easier to see it when you're looking back than looking forward.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And then, I mean, God, I feel like I'm giving you my full resume.
No, but this is what we want. Listen, we have an hour that we're recording. So, but it's great. It's also, I think, great just to hear people's perspectives, right? I've talked to a lot of people about doing this podcast, and it's people just want to hear, like, this is your story. And I mean, this podcast is going to be obviously beyond New York City, but I think the New York City stories are so interesting to people because I get asked that question. Like even this past weekend, I was hanging out with some friends from out of town and it's always like, okay, you live in the city. How is it? Oh my God, it's so expensive. You know, they find out how much you pay for rent or they go out and we order pizza. Like I think we ordered pizza, like late night pizza. It was like $65.
Wait,
I'm
really?
like, what? Like for a pie.
That's crazy.
It was good pizza, but still $60.
In my mind, it's still $20 like from in the 90s.
From Pizza Hut in the 90s.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like, I'll believe any pricing here, though. That like nothing surprises me, but we're just used to it.
Exactly. You get a martini, and sometimes it's $20, and sometimes I paid $40. You know, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, or even more than that. Like,
yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Like, they put gold flecks in it or something, and then
there must be something platinum. There better be platinum in that comes out after, and I can wear.
Right. Exactly. But so then I moved here, and it was even though I like knew the job that I was going into, I knew I was good at the job. I knew some of the people and liked some of the people that I was, working with already. And it was still like that first year here was like really, really tough for me. And my sister even lived here. And so I knew some of her friends, but the thing that I wasn't prepared for moving here was how like everyone I worked with, like, went home, like and also everyone I like kind of met, everyone had like New Jersey or like Long Island, and so like the weekend would come, like I'd be super busy during the week, that was no problem, and then the weekend would come and it was like I had no plans, like everyone like had their people, like their family, their friends, their things that they were doing, and I just was like, I wasn't used to that. Like I always had people around, or like living in Buffalo is like wearing a really cozy warm love blanket, like you always have like people that love you around, and like so I was just kind of like, but so the first, and I wasn't making really good money, I went from my rent was $500 a month with living with my two best friends to $1,600 a month, which and the gym membership went from being free because my dad, I would like tag along on his LA fitness membership, and so then now it was like $140 a month or something. So I was like, I just wasn't used to that. So the first
and you're still in your 20s. I mean, you're still young.
No, I was 31.
Or 30, okay, 31. But still early 30s. Yeah. I mean, you're still young.
Right.
It's not like, so you're still young enough where it's like you're living in such an expensive city.
Right.
$1,600 elsewhere, would be crazy. Here, I'm like, oh, that's a great deal even, but if that's...
Well, I would kill for that price now.
Well,
that would be,
I know. How many more times is our rent? Like 5?
Yeah, exactly. But I did, like, at the time, I lived with, like, 2 guys I met on, like, a roommate app. That like, so I had one of my walls was fake. Like I was like in the living room.
Oh.
The guys were so nice. Like I'm still like keep friendly with them on Instagram and their wives and whatnot. But like so I lucked out. Like they weren't like murderers, but still like they weren't like the best living conditions.
How they get away with this in New York City?
Right.
Like the railroad apartment is one thing, right? Where you have to go through someone else's room to get to the other room.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Like I've lived in an apartment like that where it clearly was a 1-bedroom. Like this was not intended to be a 2-bedroom. And I remember I had friends that came to visit from North Carolina. And my friend was like, she's married. She's like, okay, can my husband and I stay with you? I'm like, you can. You just have to sleep in my kitchen. And she thought I was joking.
Right.
And then she came and saw it. Right. And no, this is literally my kitchen. You're welcome to sleep here. And then she's like, how much do you pay for rent? I'm like, $4,000. And then we went outside. This is a true story. We went outside and she saw rats running around outside. Right. Not in the apartment, but outside.
Hey, you never know. That can happen. Yeah.
And she's like, I think she thought I was nuts. Like, I really think she legit thought I was mental because I was like, this is the reality. I promise. It was in the Lower East Side. I'm like, I promise you. I'm like, this is a steal. The Lower East Side.
I'm kidding. I'm living the dream here, baby. This is.
But your perspective is so different from people that are not, that obviously just that. I mean, that is what we all do. I think everyone has a great New York City story like that where you come here, you do what you have to do, whether you have to have 10 roommates, you have to live with the rats outside, you have to live, with not a wall situation, like whatever it is, we all have those stories where that is how you come to New York and you at least stay here. And then you figure it out. And then eventually, it's not as unglamorous. It becomes a little more glamorous.
Or it becomes glamorous and then it's unglamorous again.
Well, that's true. That's actually true, right? It goes back and forth.
Yeah.
That's true, actually. Yeah. So, and then, because it's, and then you worry about it. Then you worry about like, oh gosh, what if I can't keep up with this, right?
Yeah.
So it is, It is a lot of things to live in New York City. But I still, as much as sometimes I'll tell people, and again, even when I tell my friends from out of town, I don't think I can live anywhere else now.
I literally was about to leave this last, like you heard me this last year.
She wanted to leave for Chicago.
I was like, this is it. I've done it. It's time. Like the universe is telling me it's time. And then out of this, like the clear blue sky, I just got this like great job offer that just came through that I like actually am excited about, and I'm starting in a month. So I'm staying here in New York. They got me to stay. So
and also congratulations.
Thank you.
Literally, Kelly just got this new job. Congratulations.
You.
I'm selfishly excited you're staying here because there were talks about you going to Chicago, and I love Chicago, but I did not want that selfishly. So I'm glad that you're staying here.
I do feel like as I love Chicago too, and I've always wanted to experience like living there because I've visited a billion times and dated so many different guys in Chicago, and I'm convinced that like it would be super easy to date there, even though I've heard otherwise from the women there. But I do feel like the universe opened this door for me in this time period, and I do think it's meant to be, and I'm meant to stay. So I take those cues and I go with it.
Well, let's talk about dating since you brought it up. So I know, sigh. But I will say I have so many beautiful, successful, kind girlfriends that are single. And you are one of them.
I am, yeah.
Yes. And I mean, like, and when we go out a lot and we do kind of all the things people tell you to do, right? You put yourself out there, you go out. But I just think dating is hard because there are so many people here that are all the things. They're all the wonderful things, right? And I think it's a great thing because I have a lot of good friends as a result. But I think when it comes to dating, and then I think there's a little bit of ageism too, where I'm not in my 20s anymore. I'm not in my 30s. You are, but I'm not in my 30s anymore, right? So then you're competing with women who are also younger. Yeah. Right. And I hate the word competing because you're not competing intentionally, but it's kind of what ends up happening.
Right. I don't know the answer to it because I'm still figuring it out to this day. But I've been living here for 9 years, and every Sunday sucks because like not every Sunday sucks, but like walking around the city and like there's a million couples holding hands like constantly. So it's like there are people out there meeting people. Like it has to happen. I think it's just about timing, and you don't want to be with the wrong person. But I do think New York, obviously, the competition here is unbelievable. Or you get so many people just coming in for like a work. And they always like, I'm on the apps. Like, I know you don't date really on the apps as much, but
I don't like the apps. Right. I might think, but they are good ways to meet people who you wouldn't otherwise meet.
Right. Yeah. Right. And like, I think that like they like will tell you at first, like, oh, I'm here all the time. I actually live here part time. And then you meet them, and on the date, they're like, yeah, I don't know when I'll be here next. Like, I'm actually
it happens a lot.
I'm never coming back here again. Got it. Okay.
And then you're like, did you think, I think the thing that makes me laugh is like, and this is why I do not like the apps. Did you think it wasn't going to come out? Like height, right? Like I'm tall. Did you think that I wasn't going to figure out you were 5'8"?
When I've had a couple dates, the one I'll never forget, like told me that he was like 6'3", and he showed up and he was like 5'7".
No.
I'm like, I was so pissed.
And we're both pretty tall, actually.
But it's just, I was mad out of like just the gratitude of the lie of that. It's like, and so my friend Janelle was like, because she lived here and she was a professional matchmaker for one of those companies. Yeah. And that's still around. And I told her about that. And she goes, oh, I tell my clients to lie about their height all the time.
What?
And I was like, what? Like,
That's not great advice.
Right. Yeah. But she was like, no, you should, that's something I tell. And I'm like, why? And she's like, because like women won't give them a chance, and then they actually get to know them, and they thought that in their heads, I know. That's what she said.
But here's the flip side of that. Like, I would not filter a photo to look, a certain way.
Oh, same.
Like, if a woman filters a photo to look thinner, oh God, then it's like you're the worst thing. You get fat shamed for it. So I would disagree with that advice only because if we were to do it, it would be deceiving, and it would be deceiving.
Also, if I put myself looking like I had triple D boobs on a photo and showed up, with my beautiful titties, like, but they're small.
Okay, sorry, Mom, we may have to cut that
out. You can cut out whatever you want.
I know, that's funny. Well, I'm like, both our moms are watching, so sorry, moms, if that stays in, sorry.
This is me being like really like professional.
I love it. Oh no, this is so much fun. This is what a podcast is about.
Oh my God. But like that would be, they would be furious. Like I don't think any man would be happy about that. Because like Jared Fried, I listen to his podcast constantly, but he says that men swipe for like, do I want to hook up with this girl? That's why they're swiping, whereas women are swiping like, well, he's a doctor. Like, could this guy? It seems like he's really into, close with his family. Like, we're like,
do we have hobbies? Do we have similar interests?
Right.
Are there things that we both want to do?
Right.
And I do think there's truth to that. I think it's a little more superficial for
Right.
men. If you're listening or watching, correct us if you don't agree with that. But I think for men, it's a little more superficial. And that's fine. I've always said that's fine. Because we all have a type physically, right? Anyone who tells you they don't is lying. We all have a type, in my opinion. So that's fine. But that shouldn't be the only thing that you look at, right?
Oh,
because,
yeah, no.
I mean, when you're in a relationship, it's not, the physical is not the only thing that's there, right? There's so much more. There's depth. Do you have interest? Are you guys enjoying spending time with each other? Do you want to kill each other?
Right.
Are you aligned on finances? Are you aligned on family, on background, everything, right? So for me, and again, then if you're just doing that, that makes me wonder, do you actually want a relationship or, are you looking for something serious?
Yeah.
Or even are you looking for something beyond, just an initial meetup?
Right. No, and I what did I say to you the other day? I was like, we got to talk about dating with intention. Like, because I've been like, I used to just go on like a million dates. I used to just like after the pandemic, like, or like, it was like 3 years long. So like in the middle of it or whatever, and during it, like or afterwards, I was like, all I wanted to do was be out. I wanted to be out, meeting new people, socializing. And so I would just sometimes 5-6 dates a week. Like I'd be out, and half the time, I think I didn't even care who I was going out with. Like I would like, it would be like a Saturday night, and I would like date like a guy. I had like 4 options lined up. And so like if A fell through, then there was B. If B fell
back up.
I'm not kidding. I remember one specific Saturday night, I had to go all the way down to option D. And then I went on.
How flaky are these men? I know.
It's like, that's how it is. Or how it was. Like that's how it was.
COVID, I heard, was terrible. I was not single, but I heard COVID during that time, dating was awful.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, you couldn't really see people, number one, but even if you were taking the risk and going out, I heard it was just terrible.
It was just, I had fun with it though. Like
good.
Like, I have like ridiculous stories, but I had fun. I was just so grateful to be out because like I had been furloughed from my job during COVID. So like, I'm an extrovert. Like I am not meant to be like.
You are?
Yeah. I am not meant to be alone, isolated at home. Like, so any type of like meeting new people and being out was like good. But so I was saying to you that now the last few years I'm like dating with intention. If I'm even dating, I honestly don't really give a crap much of the time, honestly. I would rather go out with friends or go out by myself. But when I do like try to go on dates, and I'm always like, this just like sucks. Like this whole date, maybe it's just New York, but it's like trying to like date age appropriately. I have way more fun with like someone 10 years younger than me. And like, and that's just the truth of it. I try to go on dates with like 40, like men in their early 40s or like, and then I just feel like, or like late 30s. And I feel like I'm like just having like a therapy session with a millennial that hasn't dealt with his trauma or like breakups. Like, and I'm just like, and like to be fair, like I've been through stuff that when I probably should, like when my father passed, I probably should not have been going on dates back then. But like, so we all.
But you do what you have to do, right?
Right.
You do what you have to do, and I mean, I think you were always transparent about it. So that's as long as that's there, and you acknowledge it, and you're self-aware. I mean, you're self-aware, which is half the battle.
Right. Oh, definitely. Yeah. So, but it's just like, and so like, what was it? The other day we were at the pool, and I'd been talking to this 43-year-old for like weeks, and like we had we're supposed to go out Saturday night, had the time, and it like you were like, it's very clear he probably has a wife, and it's like, and it is just like that's just like so annoying
because it was almost like a pen pal, right? He kept like messaging, but it's like, okay, do you want to meet up? Is this just going to be? And I think he's just looking for attention.
Right.
That was the conclusion I came based on the fact he's not making any plans. Yeah, and it just kept going on like that, and it's and that to me is so sad, right? I like, why then just be a good person.
Right.
Like, be a good person.
It's like, and age really has nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
because like I've had like a 26-year-old like set up like a really nice date and follow through on the plan, and like I have like a fun time, like a good time, and he's not a jerk. He's not, he's actually really intelligent. We have a good conversation. Like I'd rather do that than be out or than deal with a 43-year-old. It's like, because I just don't think it happens, like it has to do with age. Like I think that it has to do with the person, where they're at in life, and like how much they've like worked on themselves or like, or
right. And I think everyone should go to therapy. That's my own personal belief. And I think a lot of people don't deal with trauma. And I think sometimes men don't deal with the trauma because it doesn't feel macho enough. But I believe in therapy for everyone. And I think therapy helps with so many things too.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah. So another date that I was on within like the last few months was this guy, another 41-year-old pilot, like said that he was like here like part-time, live here part-time. Like this was where I got the story from, where he was like, yeah, I don't think I'll ever be here again, like on the
Don't
date.
love it.
But so he was saying outrageous things. He was like, I just don't think women should be working. I think that they waste their time chasing their career. And I'm like he's riddled in red flags, like riddled. And of course, I think of this as like, how can I like figure this out? Like, how can I like, I don't, it's a terrible people pleaser. And also like the sales, like it's like a game to me to figure out how I could like, because I want to know what is making him say that ridiculous statement.
Right, you want to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah,
you want to crack the code.
I want to crack the case. And sure enough, I did. So like, so that's the problem. I end up staying out with him, and I'm like, this guy is obviously like not my husband. Like this is not going to work out. But I'm gonna stay on this date. And I sure as shit got to the end of it, and it come to find out that he had been engaged for a year, like dated someone for 5 years, was engaged, and she broke it off to go chase her career. And so he was still bitter, and that's where that like statement came from. Like, I don't think he always felt like that. And like, that's just where, so I did crack the code, but like, why do it's like, that's a waste of time.
Well, it's not a waste of time if it helps one person to hear that, right? Then it's actually not a waste of time because you're cracking the code and helping someone out there who's maybe listening or watching, or someone to feel better, right? Because like I said, I have a lot of friends I've talked to about this kind of stuff. And I think when you know you're not alone and you've had experiences like that, in some weird way, it makes you feel better because you know you're not the only person.
I'll tell you what's going to make a lot of people feel better is when you start realizing that it's probably not you. Like, the reason someone's acting that way towards you on the date or not on the date, or it probably has nothing to do with you. It's probably all them. Like they could be in love with someone else. They could, who knows? It could be a million reasons. And then just know that. Like, I feel like that's like, it's probably not you. And so then that can make you feel a lot better having to deal with like any sort of rejections or frustrations, I feel like.
And I didn't want to interrupt you because I think that's such a beautiful point, right? It's probably not you. Like, I think that's such a powerful thing to realize because I think as women, sometimes like we're so self-critical, right?
Oh my God.
So then you're like, oh my God, is it because I look a certain way or is it my age or is it my, I don't know, whatever the case, whatever insecurity.
Was I wearing an ugly top?
Yes.
Like, whatever.
Whatever insecurity you have in that moment comes out. Because it's like, oh, maybe this was it or maybe that was it, right? And I don't know if you're, like, for me, it's always physical. It's never like, I'm like, okay, well, I don't think it's that he didn't enjoy the conversation. I think it's he didn't like the way I looked. It always goes physical, right? But that's, again, it depends on your insecurities. Right. It always goes in that direction.
Right. I can take mine in a million directions. So, but it depends on the situation. It's still, I definitely, like, it bothers me, but then you get over it. You pick yourself up by the bootstraps and you move on, and it's not you. And also the best thing too is like you realize I would not have liked being with that person at all for a second. So that's another good way to look at it too. Like,
that is a good way to look at it because I think when you realize that too, you realize like my time is precious, your time is precious, everyone's time is precious, right? And when you realize that and you're like, okay, we're not aligned on what we're looking for, it's okay, right? To be like, this is probably someone that we shouldn't be spending time together.
Right.
Because we're just not matching each other.
Right.
And I think that's fine.
Or for me, it's like a lot of the time these guys are like killing my sparkle. Like they just are like wet blankets, like ruining my fun. And like that's when I'm like, oh my God, like I've dated guys in the past and I'm like, thank God I didn't, like, thank God they chose another girl and they like dumped me or whatever. Cause I'm like, I actually didn't like their personality at all. Like you start to like, I was like, oh, I liked this, and this, or I was whatever. You like are looking for different things, but then it's like, no, this would not have been good. I would not have been happy. Like,
this would not have worked out for whatever reason. And I think it's such an interesting thing, right? Because dating is one of those things where we hear about it all the time, how frustrating it can be. And then you get into it and you're like, oh God, this sucks. But then you're like, okay, but then you hear like there's beautiful stories out there, right? Of people who have good partners. I don't know how you feel about this. I feel though like a lot of people who are still in relationships are people that got married early. And I don't know if this is good or
definitely.
bad, though. This could also be they just now they have kids and they're putting up with each other. But I feel like divorce it seems less likely from people who are younger. But again, I don't know what that means. That could translate to different things. Because in all my research, I've seen a lot of couples who are together for 20, 25 years. Are some of them madly in love? Yeah.
Right.
Are some of them not really happy with each other? Absolutely.
Right.
So maybe it's more just we have kids and it's circumstances, it's financials, whatever the case is. But it is interesting because I do see less divorce with those kind of people.
Right. Interesting.
But who knows what the reason is. But since you like to get to the bottom of things,
right.
You're going to investigate for me and you're going to report back to us and tell us what the reason is. Because I have definitely noticed that trend because I have a lot of friends that live in the city, but I have a lot of friends that live in the suburbs too.
I know. I'm thinking, I'm racking my brain with like my friends, like some of them have like super good relationships. Like they're just like super set. I do think it might be like I'm getting to this, like ask me this question in 5 years type of thing. So that's kind of
or maybe even 5 months. You're going to come back on the podcast and you're going to report back.
I have had some, I won't go into specifics, but some strange situations in the last few months that maybe on another podcast or another time we'll talk about, but where it's kind of like, maybe they weren't as happy as I thought they were in their marriage, but in Ohio. But so anyway.
It's true. There's all sorts of stories like that. There's actually all sorts of stories like that.
Right.
Or I've talked about this on the podcast before. People put Instagram, photos on Instagram and Facebook and social media, and it looks like a picture perfect family. And then you hear 2 months later that, Sally was cheating on John and one of the kids isn't his, or, whatever the nonsense is, right? And it's because we only portray the positive things.
Right.
We don't talk about the negative things. If we talked about the negative things, honestly, people wouldn't be on social media a whole lot.
Right. It would be depressing, right? We'd be like, oh God, like, yeah. It would be like watching the news.
Well, I was just going to say, when I used to work in news, I would get that from people. They were like, I don't like to watch the news because it sucks. It's so depressing. I'm like, well,
it's real life.
Yeah,
right?
it's real life.
Like,
exactly. But when you want to escape that and you want to, look at all the roses, you go on social media. But they could also make you feel bad.
I do love the memes though that are like when it's like some guy, like you see the post and it's like some guy trying way too hard or a girl, like they're trying way too hard to prove their relationship, and you're just like, you just know, like this is not.
There's more to it, and
this is not what's happening in real life.
Yeah, and then you hear about it, whatever period of time later of what was really going on behind the scenes. I've seen that too, and I've seen a lot of people that put the post, thank you for being such a great husband and a great, father.
Yeah.
And then you hear about something behind the scenes, like, oh yeah, they've been cheating on each other for years, and they know about it.
I hate that's
right.
Yeah,
as long as people are transparent.
Well, yeah. If you have an open relationship, by all means. But if you're like lying and going behind each other's backs or whatever,
sad.
One person, I don't know. I'm not about that life.
It's sad. What's the point?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's a wild world out there, though. I will tell you, it's a wild world. Also, Kelly, what I love is I haven't even had to look at my questions. I knew I wouldn't have to. I was like, I have 10 questions on the back of this card. I'm like, I was
just thinking that. I'm like, have we gotten any of the questions? But that's great.
This is why we wanted to do a podcast.
Yeah.
So also, I want Kelly to come back as much as she
I'll
can.
Be back.
Yes, as much as she can, because this has been as much of a dream of yours as mine.
Totally.
Yeah,
I love it.
mine.
Oh, she's so sweet. Thank you.
No, but truly, this is fantastic.
I'm having so much fun.
I know, I was going to say, this is so much fun. We could keep doing this. I'm like, I want to look at the time because I know we have a certain time. But say now it's going to have to just be a part 2 to be continued.
All right. Done.
All right. Maybe I'll get to one of my questions here. Let's get to a good one. I would actually like to talk about your family business a little bit.
Awesome.
So yes, because that's a really kind of cool thing, right? That you have a family business.
It's a super unique situation, and it's amazing. It's great. Go ahead. I'll let you ask the question.
No, so what do you want to share about it? No, leave it open-ended. What do you want to share about it?
I don't do anything for the family business. So I'm just a silent partner. We inherit, my 2 siblings and I inherited the business when my father unexpectedly passed away a few years ago. Yeah. And thank God my brother had been working there for years and knew everything that was going on. Otherwise, my sister and I had and we obviously didn't know. My dad passed of a massive heart attack, totally unexpectedly. So
sorry, Kelly.
Young too. So we didn't know. There was no planning. This was just not so thank God my brother knew. He knew all the clients. He knew how to run it. So then my brother unexpectedly was put in the role of CEO of the business. Yeah. And amazing. Like my brother like kills it. There's no one. It's a strange situation in which like it's weird to own a business that like I just have to have full faith that like my brother and sister are like taking care of everything and like running with it. Because like I tried to like implement like calls every once in a while and like they're like, why are like they're so busy, they're like, why are we doing this right now? But he's my brother. So I'm 3 years older than my brother, and I'm 8 years older than my sister. And my brother, from the time he was about 5 years old, he always had businesses that he would just start.
It's impressive.
As a 5-year-old.
Yeah,
and he would make
that's impressive.
It was crazy. So like he would make our parents take him to like Sam's Club or whatever, BJ's, and like get like a bunch of those warheads. Do you remember warheads?
I loved warheads.
Yeah.
Actually, in the 90s, we had the best candy.
Yes, we did.
Like
definitely.
warheads. What's the one that you dipped it in the sugar? I'm sure it was terrible for you, but it's like you dipped
not
it.
Not Dunkaroos. You're thinking of like Fun Dip?
Yeah, Fun Dip, where it was like a sugar stick and then more sugar.
Fun Dip.
And remember, like, I remember we'd go to like baseball games and they'd have the best candies. All of these, like, again, things that were probably terrible for you. It probably are discontinued.
All these dyes and like.
Probably all discontinued today.
Yeah.
Oh, but
but it was. It was fun. It was great.
We used to have all of that stuff back in the 90s, I remember.
Loved it. It was the best.
Yeah.
But so he would go and like, then he'd get them in bulk and then he'd sell them and price them out based on flavor for high demand, but like which ones were in high demand to all the little kids in the neighborhood. And it started with that. And then he and I would do like lemonade stand sales. And like we would be like super profitable at the end of our driveway. And then it was like he got into paintballs. Then it was Pokemon cards. Yeah. Then it was, I don't even know. It was always something, and he always had some sort of, then it was poker. And he always had like a group of cronies that he would be selling and like wheeling and dealing. And he had like a perfect score in math on his SATs. He was just always like, he was just business minded, money minded, and like super driven with what he was passionate about. And like he was doing so well in the business before my dad passed. And I did work for the company a few years back, like temporarily. My sister and I went out cold calling. I could talk. That was fun. So I took the system that was in place from my previous job, going door to door, floor to floor, cold calling, because it's a really successful model that nobody does anymore. Ooh. And so my brother was like a bit dubious, but I was like, no, I'm telling you, like, we just have to go out and make the calls, and like, no one's going to be, and this was post-COVID too. I'm like, we need to get out and we can get in these. I've gotten in the buildings. Like I know how to get in different buildings, and like, people don't think I'm like I'm probably gonna be like banned from buildings after this gets
No, you're not. Don't worry.
No. Yeah. But it's like, people don't think I'm like up to no good. Like also they can watch me on the cameras. Like I'm in the so
I promise Kelly's not a thief.
Yeah, no.
She's been around my designer collections. I promise Kelly's not a thief.
I'm just trying to sell things to people. That's all. And it's like a fun game. I just love it. I think it's so fun. But so we spent a few days in Chicago and New York going cold calling, and like I actually got my sister onto it too. Like we were getting somewhere, we were making traction. The problem was when I would get us in front of the buyer and get us in the door, and I had no idea what the hell we sold. Like I still like and so then I'd like try to pitch it to her. Like I'd be like, okay, we're here. Like hi, and then my sister would be like, so.
Wait, I love this.
It was really funny, and we actually like it started getting somewhere. But you have to do it. You can't just go a couple times and you have to like keep going back and like keep going. You got to do it like almost every day and like make the calls. But so the one day we were in New York, and it was that day that the remember when the cloud was like. The air quality was like 435 because the smoke coming
the wildfires.
Down. Yeah.
From the wildfires.
From the wildfires.
Yeah.
So there was like the real bad day, and so we were out in Brooklyn again having success with cold calling, but it was like the smoke was like really coming in. The clouds started turning like orangey purple,
and you're still at it. You guys are still at it.
My sister was like, Kelly, I'm not doing this anymore. We have to go back. She made us buy N95 masks.
Oh my God.
We're in like Dumbo. We're in Dumbo walking around calling with these N95 masks on.
I mean, that's dedication. If I've ever heard of dedication.
Like, we have to keep making the calls. Like I was like so determined, and then finally.
That is dedication if I've ever heard of it. That is dedication. If I've ever heard of dedication.
Like, we have to keep making the calls. Like I was like so determined, and then finally.
That is dedication if I've ever heard of it. That is dedication.
So then finally she was like, I'm getting a cab. We're getting out of here. And then we got back to my apartment and she just like sat in front of my Dyson like air purifier for like hours after that, like trying to like breathe in fresh air.
Wait, that's so poor thing.
So
sorry,
anyway,
Kelly's sister on behalf of Kelly.
Yeah. So anyway, I let them do their thing with the family business and
nice.
they're killing it. My brothers, like I said, there's no one I'd trust more than my brother to do it. I saw like we worked together the one day and he like will get up at 6 a.m., be grinding, go out and make calls with meetings all day long, drive around, and then like go to a work dinner with a client, and then at like 11 p.m. he takes out his laptop and he's like still doing work.
Wow.
And like I probably wouldn't do that. Like,
that's a lot. That's great. Well, kudos to Kelly's brother too. That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
A lot.
So he's killing it now. I don't know how long he'll want to like keep doing. You know, it's a grind too, but it's great. It's fun. I feel like it like has brought us closer together. You know, like it's tough working with your siblings. Like, you know, as it is, like siblings argue and fight, and then you bring work into the equation, and that's a whole nother ball game. But
it reminds me of the show, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, right. Exactly. So, but it's been like, you know, it's a bond. It's something that we share together, and it's a nice piece of my father. Like he started this from nothing. So it's really cool to see, because my dad grew up literally impoverished. Like to see that we have this like family business come from him is like really cool, really special.
And that's beautiful that he was able to grow that and turn it into something, right, for you guys. That's lovely.
Yeah, exactly.
That's lovely. All right, well, we could keep talking about that. But let's try to get one. I think we got time for one more question. Okay. Oh, gosh. Well, we've covered a lot of this stuff. Okay, so let's go with my favorite question, of course. The podcast is called Unglamorous in the City. So what is an unglamorous moment for you? But let's share some insights about it. So an unglamorous experience, and then how did it maybe turn into something more positive?
My gosh. Well, I think losing being furloughed from my job that I loved so much during COVID, and like even just like living here during COVID was like so lonely and stuff. That was a weird time, but it ended up one of the things that I sold at that company was office furniture, and I like loved doing that. And so it got me towards going into office furniture full time and like learning so much about it, and realizing that, you know, I'm pretty good at it. Like it kind of ties in my fashion background and, you know, interior design and stuff. And so I love doing that, and that's what the new job that I'm going into now is going to be. So I'm excited for that. But that time, it's tough. Like, and then you have to keep pulling through it, you know, like everything is telling you that you should leave and like go somewhere easier, you know, during pretty much, you know, any of the unglamorous moments I've had here in New York, and there have been plenty of them. trust me. But I like you just have to keep going. If this is what you want, if this is your dream, you know, you keep fighting for it, and then eventually, like, it, you know, if it's meant to be, it will open up for you, the opportunities.
I love that. And it's good to stay positive too, right? In those scenarios, like we've all been there, and it's so easy to just go down that rabbit hole of negativity and self-pity.
Right.
You just have to stay positive.
Yeah. Stay and just keep going. That's my, like, just get up. I get up every day and I go to Equinox, and like, that's my, like, gotta go, soldier on, let's go.
Kelly goes to the gym every day, guys. Like, I think Christmas. You may even go Christmas.
Went on Christmas.
Yeah, you even go Christmas.
I went on Christmas.
So we've traveled a couple of places together, and I just remember we'd go out, we'd stay out late. And then the next morning, Kelly's like, all right, I'm going to the gym. I'm like, huh? What?
Like, I've got to get to kickboxing in 1 hour, so I gotta go.
But that's amazing. That's amazing. And we both have a pool membership at a gym here in New York. So excited about that for the summer. So
I know, it's just getting going. I'm so excited. Even though unglamorous moment in New York City, yesterday I went to the pool in West Village, and it was so crowded. I had to like lay on the cement floor, like by a window, like up against a window so that people could get by. And I'm like, this isn't like, but it's not usually that busy. But I was like, this
it's like
is
in a quarter.
Yeah. This is so New York City. Like,
I know. The funny thing is, like, when you see like how crowded something is, they're like, "Come on in," and you're like, "Are you sure? Is this safe?
Yeah.
Are we breaking rules here?"
Exactly.
Oh.
But
Well,
Love
Kelly, this has been fabulous.
I know, this is so much fun.
I
Thank
know.
you, Smitha.
Now
This
you just
is
have to keep
amazing.
coming back on.
I
That's
will
all-
come anytime you would like me to. I would
Thank
love
you.
to.
I'll hold you up for
Thank
that.
you. Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people watching and listening are gonna be like, yeah, we want Kelly back. Bring her
I
back.
hope so. I hope the listeners haven't like stopped listening like hours ago.
They're like, these girls talk too much.
Yeah,
Well, you know what though? I will say you have been fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Thank you. It was
Thank
so
you. This
fun
is
doing
so
this.
fun.
I know.
So
I'm
fun.
like sad that it's kind of like we have to wrap it up over here, but it has been wonderful,
Thank you.
Kelly, and thank you so
Smitha.
much for being here,
Oh my God, of
for sharing
course.
all the insights. There's going to be a lot of fun takeaways. I'm sure. I cannot wait. And thank you for being so candid too about some of your experiences.
Of course, absolutely, anytime. Thank you.
Excellent. And to everyone watching and listening, thank you so much. You know, as always, I appreciate all of the continued support. And I just want to end with, of course, my quote, which is, remember that some of the most unglamorous moments in life are where the real story begins. So thanks again, guys. You take care. We'll see you soon, and go Knicks.
Go Knicks. Yes.
Bye, guys.
Bye.